guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Mr. Odd Eriksen, who is the President of the Nordland County Government, it's a great pleasure for me today to congratulate the University of Nordland and all the Russian partner universities with 20 years of cooperation. When the first initiatives were taken to establish contacts between Russian and Norwegian education institutions 20 years ago, the world looked quite different from today. It took courage and visionary people to initiate this kind of cooperation, and it took political courage. I must underline that Nordland County played a vital part in its support towards the Bodø Graduate School of Business and their initiative towards Russian universities 2 decades ago. At that time, Nordland County had already established contacts with Leningrad Oblast, and the role of our political leaders, like former Mayor of Nordland, Mr. Sigurd Eriksen, who is present here today, and his Russian counterparts, was of great importance in the initial phase of the cooperation. Later, and under the leadership of Governor Valery Sedukov, during the last 13 years, Leningrad Oblast Nordland County has developed a fruitful cooperation. And this is, without a doubt, a milestone in European East-West cooperation on the regional level. I would also like to pay a tribute today to the initiative taker from the Bodø Graduate School of Business, Mr. Frode Mellenvik, for his energetic and dynamic way of work to establish the connections to the Russian educational institutions. One of the results of the cooperation on the county level and between the University of Nordland and their Russian partners is that the largest diaspora of Russian students in Norway today is in Nordland. And Russian citizens constitute the largest national group of immigrants to Nordland County. Many of the students end up as employees in the Norwegian labor market, but many also return back to their motherland, to jobs in public sector or in private companies. And this has been a remarkable development, and it shows that visions can lead to great results. Looking back, we can say that the cooperation between the Russian and Norwegian education and research sector started in the early phases of the modern globalization. And what is globalization, if not interaction between sectors across borders? This kind of cooperation is a part of the solution to creating new and innovative jobs. Peter the Great, the founder of this beautiful city, was in many ways one of the forerunners of globalization. He spent time in Europe to build alliances, to get knowledge and competence, and to get inspiration. A lot of what later became his politics was heavily influenced by these experiences. Globalization is the product of two developments: the opening up of societies and markets on the one hand, and the revolution in science and technology on the other. And the revolution in information technology is in the center of these dynamics. When Norway's foreign minister, Mr. Jonas Gahr Støre, headed the Northern Dimension ministerial meeting last November in Oslo, he underlined the importance of good infrastructure in the High North. From Nordland County's point of view, we fully agree. Good infrastructure is vital for value creation and for realizing the potential in the age of globalization. The new partnership on transport and logistics in the Northern Dimension will be one of Nordland County's top priorities towards Russia in the coming years. We are excited about the possibilities within this partnership. It aims at establishing an adequate east-west transport infrastructure between Norway and our neighboring countries, linking the Barents region more closely together and facilitating trade and cooperation. Our foreign minister underlined that the so-called Narvik corridor will be a top priority for the government within this partnership. The Narvik corridor exemplifies a green corridor connecting the markets in China and Korea with the North American East Coast. This will be done via the Russian Trans-Siberian Railroad with an intermodal change to seagoing vessels at the Norwegian Arctic port town of Narvik and possibly also the port of Murmansk. When former President Vladimir Putin launched a national priority project in the Russian Federation in 2005, quality education was one of 4 national projects. Modern healthcare, affordable housing and agricultural development, as well as quality education, are all critical components of the country's modernization efforts. One of the ideas of the national project is to consolidate the educational sector in Russia. And in 2009, we saw an example of this with the establishment of the Northern Arctic Federal University in Ukhta. This is one of 7 federal universities founded to become grappling points for the Russian higher education. It was with great pleasure and with the support of Nordland County that I saw the University of Nordland signed an agreement to collaborate with Northern Arctic Federal University last September in Arkhangelsk. In a speech earlier this year, President Medvedev said, "Today there is an urgent need for new ideas that can change the world for the better. Ideas that in the future will set new requirements for policy making and will become standards for governments, the business community, social development, and relations between states." I think that the President points at the most important issues for the future. Working on these questions demand further cooperation between education and research institutions across international borders. Although the cooperation between the University of Nordland and their Russian partners already has lasted for 20 years, I hope that the cooperation still is in its initial phase. I wish you a long-lasting and fruitful cooperation in the future. Thank you.